and tell me, when you kill her, what will it feel like? Will you delight in the touch of your finger against the trigger that dispatches death, the one designated discardable due to her presence in an enemy combatant zone? Will you sense the softness of her skin as it's severed by your 762? Or tune yourself to the intonation of her aorta torn asunder, calling into question the caliber of your character as you chamber another round of red, white, and blues for an depressed people to moan? In your fervor to hunt her husband and persecute her parents as you do what your bosses taught you, will you use the lessons offered down in Georgia at the school of torture? Will you gorge her or maybe torch her and her village because they had the misfortune of looking like this mysterious thing called the enemy? Or will you just fly the drones that terrorize towns and make for the stuff of nightmares as everyday folks shudder at the everyday chance of fire falling from the nighttime skies? And what of the children? What of their nighttime cries as their terrorized minds try to understand why another friend dies, why they grow up having to hide, when it will all end, when they will be next, when you rape her, what will it sound like? Will the soul-chilling screams of her soul being snatched as your spoils of war stay with you long after your unit has moved on? Will you wonder if she'll be able to move on from the freedom the great Western saviors assaulted her with? Or how long it will take her to wash off the stench of your occupation? Is this part of the protecting? When you grave all you can and ride roughshod over God's other children? What of her children? Will your violations give volition to the violence they'll commit trying to process terrible shit done? PTSD piercing their sanity deeply as it will yours. Exactly whose voices do you think they'll listen to next? Those that groaned in uninvited enjoyment of their mothers and aunts? Or those that whisper into their ear that they have nothing left to lose, so they might as well run kilos or strap 20 sticks to themselves and take as many out of this fucked up life with them as they can? You on that shit, ain't you? That drug of patriotism. Boosted by lack of opportunity and laced with the lure of adventure, as if you get to enlist in some real-life PlayStation, you feel it's your call of duty to strong-arm countries for your superiors. Sensing something is sour about the situation, still you stick to your Assassin's Creed, only to discover that the medal of your honor is sorely tested by the less than honorable role this country plays on the world stage. Thus, you find yourself in the company of heroes whose actions got staged by the system. You see, this is real life. You don't get any extra lives to extra lies and extra ties to the gears of war, but this modern warfare can shred your soul into splinter cells, leaving you wondering how you lost your halo as you look back over the marred battlefield your life has become. You're so eager to put yourself at risk, like a little plastic piece on a board game. The board's a game for you to tame their market, so they roll the dice with your sacrifice and make sound nice the dicier parts of this life, all so that you can go and make the world safe for democracy, or rather, safe for undemocratic regimes and corporate interests that don't work corporately with the people's interest. This liberation you bring them is paid for with high interest. I'm interested in knowing if any of this caught your interest, or were you uninterested in knowing, refusing to take a closer look at the ground truth before you hit the ground running? Yours not to reason why, yours but to do. A die coming up sixes for the ruler's tricks and snake eyes for your spirit's serenity. You say, it won't happen to me. And when it does, you can say you were simply following orders to aim high, and you did. Shooting low the hopes and dreams of people across the globe, so now you're a global force for good or for bad. You decided to be all you can be in the employ of the empire, but now you're searching for the things that made it all worthwhile and finding them few. The proud moment's rare. Over there, you handle million-dollar machinery, but the machine back home doesn't handle you with trust, so it's a bust. You can return home to be on the front lines for your family's food assistance. I hope you don't return home cutting lines or wheeling in line at the VA looking for spare parts. Indeed, I just hope you return home. Look, I don't claim to have easy answers or a job in my pocket. Guess you figure there ain't much hiring. School ain't firing on all cylinders, so you say, why not? That's what they're counting on. People of color and poor whites to give up the fight and give themselves up to fight. Right. I know we all have service people in our families. We love them very much. We're very much love for them not to be taken from our families or to take others from theirs. I'm aware some of my own support branches down from the branches and from the making of arms, but that doesn't mean I can treat this at arm's length. So I'm arming you with ammo to make an informed decision before you choose to be uniformed into uniformity. This military-industrial complex is making life complex. So at the risk of your being vexed, I offer questions you must consider before you consider the taking of others' lives or possibly your own. Will you own your path or merely march down one on orders to disorder another's? Young brother, I'm not trying to run your life or cause unnecessary strife, but I'm just wondering, when you beat her, what will she cry like? Will she shout shrieks of terror, shocked that the man she wedded is now wedded to embedding his fist in her? You're betting now a battleground brought home. Or in hushed trembling, will she stream the slow, steady, almost quiet tears of a woman quietly resigned to this new prison of her life? Her personal Guantanamo, where she's force-fed fear, seasoned with memories of what used to be that keep her caged in a deranged domestic detainment. A part of you will die over there, and you'll try to drink away the damnable parts that didn't. But all you'll cause is dread in the domicile where happiness is dead. Will you remember your happiness when you first knew you loved her? Her smile when you blew your first kiss. Now your blows don't miss. You've blown your bliss, shelled all of this into a shell of what you had back then. Son, what of your children? Will your son learn from you how to disable an opponent, even one dearly beloved? He'll want to grow up and be in the strike force like daddy. Will he strike with force like daddy, landing shells upon a woman he'll reduce to a shell? Will your daughter be shell-shocked into shelving her sense of self-worth and succumb to the hell some similarly sick bastard will sentence her to? Salute the God within before you salute the gods of war. And think on these things before you sign on the dotted line, just above the perforation of your soul from its peace. Recruitment.